So with Greedland, what's interesting, instead of having like different characters, like many other games like Soulstone Survivors kind of has different characters via classes, and then you have like Vampire Survivors where they're very much an individual of some sort. Name, entity, whatever, deity of some sort. Like they are them in comparison very much to, or very different to another, right? Well, in this game, it's power armor. So the power armor is what makes up the variety in this game for the classes. And each bit of power armor has their own health, their own armor, movement speed when shooting, vision, etc., etc., etc. So you have your Vanguard, Ranger, Fury, Guardian, Valkyrie, Mastermind, Dark Lord, and Gale Thunder. Now, if you notice here, each different suit or power armor has their own active ability, which you will activate over time, and then there will be a cooldown, and then you can activate it again. And then you have different passive abilities that will unlock as you upgrade the armor. So at level 5, you can get reroll for Vanguard. For level 10, you can get selection. The active is Ice Ring, which means that within a radius around you, you will freeze enemies, and they will take additional damage. Whereas if you look at the Ranger, Overload. During skill time, your equipments gain 70% damage and fire rate. So as you're using the skill, your equipments gain 70% damage and fire rate. So not your primary weapon, but the equipment that you have. Now this game is all about achieving. It is all about value and unlocking, because this is the thing here. You can not only unlock different power armors, you can also upgrade them. And when you upgrade them, you're going to change their base stats. Now when I first looked at this, I went, oh, well, Vanguard has better stats than Ranger, Fury, Guardian, Valkyrie, Mastermind, Dark Lord, Gale Thunder. Why would I want to go to anything else? But as you upgrade them, those stats will change. And you start to see, oh, Vanguard is a very solid power armor to start with. But as you go along, you can actually have more of a snowball effect with other power armors as you unlock and upgrade them, which is pretty cool. So they give you a little bit of value there, and you're constantly working toward unlocking all these different power armors and making them stronger. So that's very cool. Now, on top of that, you also have different mods, and you can expand how many mods your power armor can have. So with this, you're looking at full power, which increases all your damage, firearm power increases main weapon damage, equipment power, penetration, overcharge, durability, steel armor, propulsion, etc., 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 etc. So there are a lot of ways of not only picking between your weapon and your power armor, but there are a lot of ways of changing the overall build. So even though someone could say, love the Valkyrie or love the Ranger, and you could too, and you could play the same one with the same weapon, it could still very much be a different experience because of the equipment items that you have at your disposal and how you use them or when you use them, as well as your mods. And with your mods, you can not only purchase them, but upgrade them. So now you're working toward upgrading your armor and getting the armor. You're looking to get the mods and upgrade the mods. And then also getting new weapons and upgrading those. So we have the AR, the assault rifle, submachine gun, scatter storm gun, shotgun, laser gun, flamethrower, burst gun, alpha beam, blowtorch, rocket launcher, plasma thrower, missile launcher, Gauss rifle, and moonbeam. Woo! Lots of weapons to unlock, lots to upgrade as well, so you can find what works best for you. And then from there, you can look at your equipment. Over time, you will unlock, and then you will be able to upgrade things like UAVs, the Vulcan, Backwatcher, not Washer, don't get that mixed, don't get that confused, Backwatcher, Plasma Disc, Electric Shuriken, Ion Shield, Grenade, Prism, Orbital Cannon, Raptor Drone, Force Field, Devastator, Floating Laser, Lightning Boomerang, and Hellfire Beam. There is so much in this game to basically add on for your sort of armory, for your set, to be able to take on the hordes, to be able to mix and match and upgrade. And what's also very cool is that there are different kinds of fusions. As you can see down below here, there's a fusion method between a UAV and orbital cannon. So you can have certain items that can fuse well together. The Vulcan and the Backwatcher. Lightning Boomerang and the Plasma Disc, for example, fusion method. On top of all this, As you upgrade your equipment during a match, every time you level, you can pick what kind of upgrades you want, right? Just like so many other roguelite survivor-based games. But with this, whenever you reach a certain level for an equipment item, it can evolve. So, for example, when you have the plasma discs, they usually will spin around for a short period, disappear to recharge, and then come back out and attack. When you evolve it, they always stay out. So it's a pretty significant difference. If you're able to put the time in and your RNG works well, you can evolve a weapon and make it quite strong and really help you to survive toward the end game, which is crazy because the end game, they throw so many enemies at you. Like, this is not an easy game. You don't just start running. You really have to start crawling, then walking, and then building that up. Is it fun? Yes. But is it challenging? Yes. As a person who's played so many different Survivors-esque games, this one actually does have a fair amount of challenge to it. You will have to take your time with it because it will take time to build up everything. Is there a grind? Yes, but do I see value in it, and can it be quite fun, and can it feel good to be able to reach that point of finally upgrading? Absolutely, because you can see the impact that each upgrade, for the most part, has. So now on top of all this, you've got a map with jungle, desert, as well as tundra, and these different biomes have several maps inside of them. Several maps. So unlike some games where it's like, oh, you have like 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 when they're out long enough, this game already in early access has a ton of them. Now, as you can see too, you unlock some of them as you reach a certain account level. So you will have an account level, and like right now I am normal 2. And with this, you can either buy off the commander to complete certain missions, so it gets you closer to ranking up. Otherwise, you can just do them. So this is nice too because it gives you something to work toward. You're not just trying to unlock maps and get the in-game currencies here in order to upgrade stuff or purchase stuff, but you're also working toward completing these missions to rank up. And with these missions, what's cool about them, at least what I appreciate about them, is that they kind of push you to play in different ways or to use different things that maybe you haven't really thought about. So that's really neat too, so I can appreciate that. It's like we discovered 1 mercenary remains, boom, done. Deal 10,000 damage with equipment grenade, okay, so that'll be something we'll work toward. And complete jungle area 5 1 time. All right, we can definitely do that. Rise to normal 3, and what we'll get is air support system, equipment orbital cannon, and air support cluster bomb, which is nice too. Again, they've done a very good job of showing you like, hey, this is what you have, this is what you can get. This is why you need to go in this direction. You also get achievements, and with these achievements, you get boss data, as we see here. We also get in-game currency, and then mods, weapon powers. We can even get mods too. So I feel like this developer, and it's a solo dev, they've put a lot of time into this game. It's insane how much they've actually put into it already for an early access title. Now, if you're looking for a challenge, once you get enough mods and upgrades and equipment items and, the right power armor for you, what's cool is that you can see here, you can actually change when you're fighting. So midday, which is like sort of your normal difficulty, dusk, which is a little bit harder, and midnight, which is supposed to be the hardest. There's also bonus payment for that. So as you can see here, increased enemy damage. And then with this too, we're looking at 20-minute duration. You can also set challenges, which also gives you bonus payment. So for instance, enemy movement speed is increased, experience gained is reduced, so in-game experience is reduced, so it's harder to level up and to add the different perks and things that you can earn. And then airdrop disabled, so now you're not getting assistance anymore. But let's go ahead and do midday jungle area 5. Gotta love that moment. Now you can kind of change things up where the attack can be auto, the aim can be auto, so it's very much like Vampire Survivors. Or you can have it where you have to attack, you have to aim. I've played games that do one or the other, so I'm familiar with both for the most part. Personally, I don't mind one over the other. It's just kind of the mood I'm in. So like right now, I'm doing everything via myself. I'm aiming, I'm firing. Let's see here. So with this power armor, we get more vision, so the camera will back up more so we can see more. Power armor upgrade, 40% experience pickup range. Increase damage to our weapon or increase critical damage. I always like to try to mix it up a little bit. Upgrade the damage a little bit, but try to get the experience because that's going to help you long term. Now, the cool thing with a laser weapon is that you can actually shoot out multiple lasers. That is one of the upgrades, as well as you can have it reflect. So you can hit an enemy, bounce off, hit another enemy, which I always like too. Let's go ahead and do plasma disc. Yeah, let's do that. Ice ring. And we also have these G crystals, which are not only a monetary unit for upgrading things, but they also heal you. So even though it's good to try to farm them, if you're really looking to upgrade things and get them where you want to be, it doesn't hurt to like preserve them for a bit at least until you start taking damage. And just like many of these other games, there are, of course, different types of enemies, not just look-wise, but how they act and react. You have enemies that are range, enemies that are melee, some that explode, so they're kind of area of effect. So we can upgrade all damage by 15%, upgrade the critical rate again by 12%, unlock the UAV. Hopefully grenade will pop up for us soon. Grenade is really like a Molotov. There's no explosion factor, just fire. Ion shield, critical damage again by 25%. More XP though. Let's do growth. Oh, that's right. I was thinking we were Ranger still. That's right, we're Vanguard. Vision armor, bank watchers, experience. Let's do experience again. Let's try growth. I think the back watchers would be handy. I do like them. Basically, they're like little guns that are behind you that shoot the enemies behind you as you fire forward. There we go. There's grenade. Repair tool to fully heal. Now, you will get little bosses as well, and they do become a lot bigger. That's right. Gotta burninate the planet. Hashtag goals. You know, honestly, having this rock here is really handy for the reflect on this laser gun. Let's see. Critical damage, armor. Let's do more armor. Dead enemy. Perfect. Another bank watcher, health recovery, vision, or overall weapon damage. Let's do overall weapon damage. Now that we have reflect, let's also do back watcher damage. Let's do that. Health recovery, reflection, critical damage. Let's do another reflection. So we can get Vulcan if we want, fire rate on the back watcher, damage on the back watcher. I need more grenade. Let's do one more back watcher. Oh god, we have 4 of them now. Never mind the one more. Electric shuriken, armor. Let's do armor. And then from there, UAV, 20% damage of equipment. Let's do that. Because that's going to increase our grenade damage, which is what we want for that mission that we're trying to accomplish. I love that the airdrop actually does damage. It's also pretty nice. There we go. Evolution cluster grenade. Evolve into cluster grenade, doubles the number of grenades, gains a spread effect. Very cool. Let's also do skill strength or a UAV. Skill strength, let's do that. Look at that. Look at all that fire. Man. That's a lot of fuego. Oh boy. Ow. By the way, there's also a dash. I haven't used it once this run for whatever reason, but love the fact there's a dash too. Ooh, mercenary remains. So sometimes you'll come across corpses of other mercenaries, and you can get a nice little perk off of them. So here, full power, 50% to all damage, or hypercore, 50% critical rate and 100% critical damage. Let's go with, let's do hypercore. Those are like little drones that kind of float in front of you and shoot. Honestly, I don't really know the difference between Vulcan and the UAV per se. I'm not 100% sure. Because here, like the icon looks like it's shooting out fire, especially with the name Vulcan. But when you actually look at them, they look like they're just shooting out like lasers, like yellow lasers or something. So I'm not 100% sure. Could be a work in progress. Third evolution, let's go. Lightning Blade. Evolve into Lightning Blade. The link between the character and the blade continuously damages enemies. Now we have 3 evolved weapons. Oh, yeah. Destruction. Good timing, too. We're down to the last 20 seconds of the match. And look at this entry. Look at that. Ship comes down. Blaze of glory. Boom. And fly right off. There we go. Rampage achieved 14,000 kills. Vanguard reached level 50 with power armor. Nice. Fire rate. Seek. Let's do range. Yeah, this UAV putting in some work. We'll save that for later. Let's do all damage. Ooh, orbital cannon. Nice. Let's check out to see what that looks like. I heard it. Oh, there we go. A beam of fire randomly hitting down. Toasty! So far, the map feels pretty similar to the first one, but visually different. There are some differences, I guess. There are more rocks, like for instance with this one. A little more obstacles in the terrain. We're also dealing with different looking enemies, but they behave pretty much the same, except for now we have the sort of sand crabs that emerge from the ground, which is pretty cool. And overall, like all the creatures look neat. Like, absolutely cool. Like, this is freaking terrifying. Nice, baby. There we go. Critical or reborn? Let's do reborn. Now we're getting range enemies. Those are pretty interesting too, because they shoot out multiple projectiles rather than one large slower one like the range unit on the jungle biome maps. So we are getting some familiar mechanics, but slightly different too, which keeps things, again, interesting, which is good. Ooh, here we go. Omega Flyer. Evolve into Omega Flyer, which attacks the enemies non-stop. Heck yeah, let's go. Ultimate power. Love it. Attack range, damage. Let's do damage. All that beautiful, tasty EXP. Fire rate, experience, penetration, fire rate. Keep on moving, moving. Go ahead and do damage for the Vulcan. There we go. And GG's. You know, if any of this was real, you'd have to invest points into some new pants since you'd have shed all those. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I'm not wearing the brown pants either, so, you know. I like this game. I think it's a good survivors game. As a person who has hundreds of hours in these types of games, this is an enjoyable one, and I'm really intrigued to see where it goes and what 1.0 will look like. So if you're looking to support the game early on to help the development because you like what you see and you want to play it because it looks fun, do it on up. Jump up on Steam and support it. Check it on out. The link has been in chat and will be in chat again and will be in the bottom of this video on YouTube as well. But overall, I would say, you know, out of a 10 out of 10 game, 10 being impossible to achieve, I would give this game like a 6 right now. I think it's good, and that's like really solid for early access title, single developer. Like it's enjoyable, and there's stuff to work toward, and it's overall pretty fun because there's so much to strategize with. Like if you're a person that really enjoys building, you know, building out a character, building out a sort of type, if you will, right? Like, oh, this is about damage. This is about damage mitigation. This is about this and that. This gives you room to play with the different weapons and the upgrading, the different power armors, the different modifications, the equipment items, and how you want to focus those into an evolution. And then also fusions. It's a good time, so I highly recommend it. Check it out for yourself. Thank you very much for jumping in and joining me on Planet G. If you liked what you saw, make sure to follow. Make sure to check us out in the future for more content for early access and betas for great, exciting horror games, as well as thrilling and epic action from games like this, these reverse bullet hell survivor games, which I cannot get enough of. And I will see you in the next video.